It looks like the type of thing that I ended up drawing. I can't wait to see this flying around in our skies, and the way they're going to do it is really quite cool.
Most of the media and the public will see our flying car, and will be the very important base for the next generation flying car.
Those who watched the blockbuster Blade Runner, where the only way to get around in the future is by taking to the skies in small electric flying cars, might have concluded that flying vehicles are confined to the imagination of filmmakers. But Dubai has just shown us that the future is closer than we thought by unveiling the world's first commercial flying car.
This is possibly the coolest thing I've seen here at the Dubai Air Show this year. It's an actual flying car.
This innovation in transportation is beyond what we've seen before. So, is the future of travel about to change totally? Join us as we dive into the details of this groundbreaking innovation, exploring how it could change not only how we travel, but how we live. The changing image of Dubai. The world has probably gotten used to thinking of images of architectural marvels, massive shopping, and top innovations whenever Dubai is mentioned. This is because over several decades, Dubai has never failed to make its way as a city of future development, housing the tallest building in the world, man-made islands in palm tree shapes, and even with robot policemen regulating its streets. It's a city where dreams tend to turn into reality overnight. So it comes as no surprise that Dubai now has its eyes set on a revolution in the way people travel. From magnetic levitation trains to hyperloops, Dubai is not a stranger to the boundaries of transport. And now, it takes one step further, introducing something that is going to reshape how we think about mobility, its first ever flying car. But that's not all, and this next bit is even more mind-blowing. Dubai has just made history with its flying car, unveiling it as an innovation in the world of transportation. Sleek and futuristic in design, it runs on electricity, providing an eco-friendly alternative to conventional automobiles. More than a novelty, this flying car is designed to perform in practical, everyday use, soaring above the traffic jams that often choke the busy streets of Dubai. Operating more like a drone than a car with vertical takeoff and landing, it offers comfort and style that Dubai has become known for. However, Dubai will be the first city in the world to release this kind of vehicle commercially, showing its technological leadership and setting the standard for the future of urban travel. Just think of crossing town in a fraction of the time that it currently takes, skimming above its glittering skyline with an unrivaled bird's-eye view.
This new mode of transportation allows us to move into the third dimension and rethink the way our cities operate.
The big question now, could flying cars be an imminent global norm? This may not be as far-fetched, perhaps, given Dubai's ambitious leap into the future. The Liberty Flying Car. In a pioneering move, Dubai-based aviation firm Avatera signed an agreement with the Dutch company PAL V to bring the world's first flying car to the Middle East and Africa. Avatera committed to buying more than 100 of PAL V's Liberty flying cars in a major step toward the introduction of this revolutionary means of transportation to the region. With none of the companies showing when the first deliveries would begin, excitement is already building for what is touted as a revolution in mobility. The Liberty flying car, out of a James Bond movie, effortlessly changes from a road vehicle into an aircraft.
PAL-V stands for Personal Air and Land Vehicle, and you see here the first prototype of our flying car.
It's like any other nippy three-wheeled roadster on the road, reaching 100 kph in under 9 seconds to a top of 160 kph. But in a mere 5 minutes, the Liberty is transformed into a gyroplane, its blades extending from the roof, flaps unfolding from the rear. When airborne, it has a flying range of 400 to 500 kilometers, cruises at 180 kph, and is capable of attaining altitudes of 11,000 feet. For the time being, these flying cars run on ordinary petrol, but PAL-V's chief executive Robert Dingemans has already hinted at future electric models once battery technology improves.
Ja, wij maken een heel innovatief mobiliteitsconcept. Als je hierachter kijkt, zeg maar, dan zie je de PAL-V staan. Dat staat voor Personal Air and Land Vehicle.
He says that while current batteries permit only 100 kilometers of flight, with developments in the near future, this range should stretch to a much handier 500 kilometers. And the Middle East and Africa are about to be among the first regions to take this wonder for a spin. It appears that what was once reserved for science fiction movies is fast turning into reality. Many of the models of these electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, eVTOLs, at different stages of development, of which quite a few of them hail from nearly a decade ago, are close to commercial production. Major manufacturers such as Uber and Boeing have already invested heavily in fleets of flying vehicles, signaling just how transformative this technology will be. Within the last decade, the eVTOL industry has only just taken off, driven by aeronautics, drone innovation, battery-powered vehicle design, and AI coding. These breakthroughs allowed flying cars to work, but pushed them to the forefront of transportation into the future.
Everybody asks the question, yeah, what about flying? Because it's so busy in the air. Well, go outside now and look up. You're at an airport, you won't even see an aircraft probably, maybe one that's landing.
Now we see the dawn of what analysts have called a flying transport gold rush. According to futurologists, the market is about to be flooded over the coming years with a host of eVTOL prototypes, resulting in cutthroat competition. The gold rush is ignited by the increasing need to deal with traffic congestion and a worldwide turn toward greener and more sustainable means of transportation. With roads nearing gridlock and fossil fuel alternatives fast gaining traction, the eVTOL might finally be a solution to all our urban transit prayers. The very prospect of eVTOL travel over densely populated urban areas sets off an investment frenzy between aerospace giants, car manufacturers, and technology companies, each wanting a piece of this game-changing innovation. Here's the reason for all this. For good reason, the prospect of flying over traffic in sleek, energy-efficient vehicles shows the promise that the investors can't resist, a notion to be part of the future. With commercially flying eVTOLs expected to hit the skies as early as 2025, for sure, we are at another revolution in transportation.
Plan to fly over the traffic jam from a little airstrip to a little airstrip, and then you can drive again.
Those first models would be piloted, but many say unmanned versions might just be around the corner, and fully autonomous eVTOLs may dominate the skies by the middle of the 2030s. By 2040, 430,000 flying vehicles will be operating around the world, running through cityscapes and reordering how we live and travel. Dubai, ever at the forefront in attempts at anything futuristic, is racing to become the first city anywhere to deploy a commercial eVTOL service. If history is anything to go by, Dubai will be where this flying future is first piloted, quite literally, and other cities will soon be chasing to keep up. The sky isn't just the limit anymore, it's the destination. The Liberty, with its hefty price tag of $799,000, is clearly designed for those with deep pockets, high-end clients, corporations, and even governments. But it's not just a flashy toy for the wealthy. There's real utility here. According to PAL-V's CEO, Robert Dingemans, this futuristic vehicle is already catching the eye of various sectors, from border control and homeland security to military operations.
For Coast Guard, for policing, the idea that one could travel to a location by air very rapidly.
Its ability to travel both on the ground and in the air makes it a game changer for first responders who need to quickly reach remote or hard-to-access areas. Whether it's a high-net-worth individual looking to beat traffic or a government needing swift mobility in emergency situations, the Liberty is much more than just a luxury item. It's a practical tool with wide-ranging possibilities. Air taxis. Abu Dhabi and Dubai are racing toward a future where flying taxis are part of everyday life, and the buzz around advanced air mobility is only growing louder. Both cities have made bold moves to embrace electric vertical takeoff and landing, eVTOL aircraft, signaling their commitment to change how people move. Dubai's Roads and Transport Authority inked deals earlier this year to launch air taxis within the next 2 years.
Dubai is on track to be the first city in the world to offer a ride in a flying taxi,
while Abu Dhabi is looking at an all-electric air taxi system by 2026. Archer Aviation's CEO, Adam Goldstein, confidently announced that by 2025, at the latest 2026, eVTOLs will zip across these cities, turning what used to be 60 to 90-minute road trips into sleek, 10-minute air journeys. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's closer than we think. However, there's a twist in the story when we compare eVTOL to the Liberty flying car. Unlike eVTOLs, which offer station-to-station transport like Airbuses, the Liberty promises door-to-door convenience.
PAL-V is a company about new flying mobility. We offer the first flying car in the world. It will be available to customers to go from any door to any door.
As Muhannad Wada, managing director of Avatera, put it, this new innovation will redefine air mobility by literally flying from your home to your destination. It's not just about cutting travel time, it's about a seamless experience where the boundaries between road and sky blur. Robert Dingemans, CEO of PAL-V, insists that previous flying cars weren't the real deal, as they couldn't drive on roads. The Liberty, however, combines flying and driving like no other, positioning itself 10 years ahead of the competition. And while the race is heating up, with companies like Spain's Aleph Aeronautics and Slovakia's Kleinvision entering the fray with their own flying vehicles, the Liberty is poised to be the first to market. Aleph has drawn attention with its $300,000 eVTOL, already boasting 3,000 pre-orders, and Kleinvision's air car, powered by a BMW engine, secured airworthiness in Slovakia. But no matter how crowded the skies may get, Dubai and Abu Dhabi are determined to be at the forefront of this revolution, with their eyes set on a flying future. PAL-V, which stands for Personal Air and Land Vehicle, is inching closer to making flying cars a reality. After years of rigorous testing, the company is in the final stage of its certification process with the European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA. According to PAL-V's CEO, Robert Dingemans, they've already cleared all the critical hurdles and expect to start delivering these groundbreaking vehicles as early as next year, starting in the Netherlands. But here's the kicker. PAL-V is already sold out for the next 3 years. With production limited for now, they're working hard to expand capacity, but demand is sky high. Once they've got the green light from EASA, the plan is to get approval from the UAE's General Civil Aviation Authority to bring the Liberty to the Middle East, with Avatera leading the charge. And this deal with Avatera? It's PAL-V's biggest yet, pushing their order book past 150 million euros. Backed by 220 investors globally, PAL-V has attracted individuals from the Middle East, but Avatera marks its first corporate investor.
This is the first flying car in the world. It's called PAL-V.
Through Logia Investment, the financial arm of Avatera, they're not just buying vehicles, they're fueling the future of flying cars. Things are about to get really interesting, and the Middle East is ready to take flight. But the question then becomes, who will fly the vehicles? Keep watching for the surprising answers. Who will pilot the flying vehicles? Robert Dingemans calls flying a gyroplane the easiest and safest way to fly, and it's easy to see why. Gyroplanes are different from regular planes and helicopters. Instead of relying on a powerful engine or complex controls,
so basically you can get this model with 3 different kinds of engines. You can get the Rotax 912 engine.
Gyroplanes use unpowered rotors that spin on their own as the wind passes through them. This design makes them steady and easier to fly, especially for beginners. Plus, even if the engine fails, gyroplanes can glide safely to the ground, reducing the risk of crashes. While flying the Liberty flying car offers the promise of a more accessible airborne experience, it's not as simple as hopping behind the controls and taking off. Just like any advanced vehicle, operating the Liberty requires specific knowledge and skills, and the company behind it, PAL-V, is ensuring that its customers are well prepared through a comprehensive training program. For the theoretical part of the training, PAL-V has developed an e-learning platform, allowing aspiring pilots to familiarize themselves with the fundamentals from the comfort of their homes. This online coursework lays the groundwork for the more critical, hands-on aspect of the training: real-world flight lessons. At present, these practical flight lessons are conducted in the Netherlands, though PAL-V has plans to broaden their reach, with partnerships in Italy and the UAE in the works, potentially through collaborations with established aviation service providers like JetX. The aim is to make flight training more accessible to a global audience, reflecting the increasing interest in the Liberty and the expanding market for personal aviation. To legally fly the Liberty, pilots will need to complete a minimum of 45 hours of flight lessons, which may seem like a daunting number when compared to learning to drive a car. However, when put in perspective, it's not far off from the requirements for a private pilot's license, which typically demands around 70 hours of training. The Liberty, being a gyroplane, benefits from a design that is inherently easier to operate than a traditional fixed-wing aircraft. This ease of control could make the learning curve less steep for many individuals, further encouraging adoption. PAL-V's commitment to thorough training underscores the importance of ensuring that their customers are not only licensed, but also confident and proficient in both the aerial and ground-based operation of the Liberty. This dual capability is what sets the Liberty apart from traditional aircraft, and as more people turn to this hybrid form of transportation, PAL-V's rigorous training approach will play a crucial role in ensuring that the skies remain as safe as the roads. But apart from the concern of who flies the plane, another area of concern is safety and getting people's confidence in using these flying cars. Even with the most advanced infrastructure and stringent regulations in place, the true challenge for the flying taxi industry may lie in earning the trust of potential passengers. Public perception of safety is paramount, especially when transitioning from the familiar world of ground-based vehicles to the novel experience of electric vertical takeoff and landing (eVTOL) aircraft. It's one thing to build a system that works on paper, but quite another to inspire confidence in those who will use it. Unlike ground taxis, where the risks of travel are well known and largely accepted, flying taxis represent a new frontier. For most people, taking a ride in the air, where mechanical failures feel far more perilous, requires an unprecedented level of assurance. Brandon Robinson, CEO of Horizon Aircraft, aptly notes that the expectations for safety in eVTOLs are exceptionally high. There's ongoing debate about how to measure this safety. Some argue that these aircraft should be twice as safe as cars, or at least as safe as helicopters, which already have a proven track record of flying passengers.
People are already for 100 years busy with creating a flying car. It's fantastic now that we have the real model here.
Yet Robinson argues that simply meeting existing safety standards isn't enough. These aircraft must go above and beyond, setting a new, elevated benchmark that reassures passengers, regulators, and the public alike. Without this, the prospect of widespread adoption remains uncertain, no matter how enticing the vision of a sleek, efficient airborne taxi service may be. This is why companies like Joby and EHang have been investing heavily in design refinements and rigorous testing for years, seeking to perfect every aspect of their eVTOLs. It's not merely about technological advancements or the allure of cutting-edge mobility. The ultimate goal is to convince passengers that their flying taxi will get them to their destination, not only faster and greener, but with the same or even greater degree of safety they would expect from any conventional mode of transport. In this way, the future of air mobility hinges not on innovation alone, but on the confidence of those who will one day soar through the skies in these vehicles. Only when safety is assured will the excitement surrounding flying taxis translate into a real and transformative shift in how we travel. But Dubai is not alone in this race, so let's look at others battling to lead with this innovation. Stiff competition. Dubai faces stiff competition in its bid to be the first commercial operator of electric vertical takeoff and landing (eVTOL) aircraft. With around 250 companies worldwide currently engaged in the research and development of electric flying vehicles and their supporting infrastructure, the race is intensifying.
And I effectively lead the aircraft side of the Joby organization, so that means the design, the manufacturing, and all of the supporting infrastructure such as supply chain, quality, and so on.
This month, for example, United Airlines made headlines by announcing an order for 200 eVTOLs from Eve, a company specializing in the development of these cutting-edge vehicles.
United Airlines, meanwhile, making a big bet on the future of flying. Think Jetsons, and urban air mobility, and I hear things like that, and it just makes me nervous.
United expects to receive its first deliveries by 2026, and the airline is planning to deploy them for short-range passenger transportation. Michael Leskinen, president of United Airlines Ventures, emphasized that this deal reflects the airline's confidence in the potential of urban air mobility. He believes that the integration of clean energy technologies will fundamentally transform air travel, serving as a catalyst for the aviation industry to pivot toward a more sustainable future. United's move signals the seriousness with which traditional aviation giants are approaching this emerging market, and the order positions the airline as a frontrunner in bringing eVTOL technology to the commercial sector. Airbus, the world's largest aircraft manufacturer, is also making strides in the eVTOL race with the development of its City Airbus Next Gen, a sleek and innovative battery-powered flying vehicle. Designed with safety in mind, the City Airbus Next Gen features 8 propellers, 8 electric motors, and a distinctive V-shaped tail to enhance stability and maneuverability. It is expected to carry 4 passengers at a cruising speed of 120 km per h, 75 miles per hour, and cover a range of 80 kilometers, 50 miles, making it an ideal candidate for short-distance urban transportation. Airbus has even likened its futuristic design to something straight out of a Batman movie, underscoring the vehicle's sci-fi appeal. Airbus Helicopters, which is leading the project, has already begun constructing a specialized test center for the City Airbus Next Gen in Donauwörth, Germany. The facility, scheduled for completion in early 2023, will be the site of rigorous prototype testing before the aircraft's anticipated maiden flight. This new project follows Airbus's previous success with Vahana, an experimental autonomous eVTOL that the company developed in just 2 years. With a tandem tilt-wing design and 8 electric motors, Vahana successfully demonstrated the feasibility of all-electric vertical takeoff and landing, as well as autonomous flight. By the time it completed its final test flight in Oregon in November 2019, the aircraft had accumulated over 138 full-scale test flights, validating the eVTOL business case and achieving its key development objectives. The eVTOL industry is becoming a battleground for major players like United Airlines and Airbus as they race to dominate a market set to revolutionize urban mobility. Prototypes are nearing production, with the EHang 184, a Chinese fully autonomous drone taxi, standing out. Designed to carry up to 230 kilograms over 15 kilometers on a single battery charge, the EHang 184 offers 23 minutes of flight time, ideal for short urban trips. It allows passengers emergency control and includes a hazard detection system, having undergone over 1,000 test flights. However, its $200,000 price tag positions it as a luxury option for now. In the United States, Joby Aviation, a California-based company with a $1.2 billion valuation, is also making strides in the eVTOL market. Unlike EHang's single-passenger design, Joby's aircraft is larger and capable of carrying up to 4 passengers. The Joby eVTOL boasts impressive performance, with a top speed of 200 miles per hour and a range of 150 miles. This would allow, for example, passengers to travel from downtown Manhattan to JFK Airport in just 7 minutes, a journey that typically takes close to an hour by car. Like EHang, Joby has prioritized environmental sustainability. Its eVTOL produces 0 emissions during operation. Having completed over 1,000 test flights, Joby is currently working closely with the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, to gain the necessary certifications to begin commercial operations, which it aims to achieve by 2024. The company has also applied for certification in the UK, signaling that it views Britain as a key market for its aerial ride-sharing service. Joby's vision extends beyond mere air transportation. The company envisions a fully integrated service that connects to existing transit infrastructure. According to spokesperson Oliver Walker-Jones, the goal is to place skyports near residential, work, and leisure areas while ensuring they are co-located with train stations, airports, and other transportation hubs. This integration would not only streamline travel, but also make the service more accessible to a wider audience. Joby's partnerships further highlight its ambition. Its collaboration with the U.S. Department of Defense, for instance, explores military applications for its aircraft, such as resupply missions, personnel relocation, and emergency medical response. As eVTOL manufacturers like Ahang and Joby inch closer to production, the pressing issue becomes not just the vehicles themselves, but the infrastructure and regulations needed to support their deployment. Certification for both the vehicles and operators must be secured, and a clear regulatory framework must be established before these flying taxis can start ferrying passengers. Rules for air traffic, safety protocols, and skyport placement are all essential elements that need to be addressed. Until these are ironed out, the widespread rollout of eVTOL technology could face significant delays, despite the readiness of the vehicles themselves. As the industry advances, regulatory hurdles and infrastructure development will be crucial in determining how quickly this futuristic mode of transport becomes a reality. Do you think all of these are happening too fast? Would you prefer a flying car to a regular taxi? Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the next video displayed on your screen. You will enjoy it.